Good morning, everybody. This is Jeff J. Brown in beautiful Shenzhen, China, for another China Rising Radio Sinoland podcast and article. Be sure and get the link to the article, as there is always a photograph and hyperlinks for further reflection and reading. This one is called Baba Beijing is Sick and Tired of the West Using Hong Kong to Overthrow the CPC. Of course, the CPC stands for the Communist Party of China. The photograph byline says the following: Hong Kong protesters storming a government building in 2014, helping launch the West's failed color, quote, umbrella revolution, end of quote, there, a la Ukraine, Venezuela, Egypt, Syria, Thailand, and in many other victimized countries across the planet. It is an open secret around the world that faux protesters like these are paid 20 to 30 euros per day by their Western handlers who hide behind bogus NGOs and foundations. Be sure to look righteous and indignant when a camera points your way. Just another day of dirty work and servitude to Western Empire, and these chumps are the bottom feeders. Here is the article itself. If you have read the China trilogy, then you have an expert grasp of the West's relentless efforts since the end of World War II to overthrow the Communist Party of China, the CPC, with hopes of turning China into a balkanized hellhole like Ukraine, Libya, Iraq, Syria, and all its other countless victims around the world. Efforts to use Taiwan, Tibet, and Xinjiang have all been miserable failures for the CIA MI6 complex, notwithstanding billions of dollars and euros spent over the last 7 decades to make it happen. This is thanks to the CPC being firmly committed to keeping China socialist and anti-Western while bringing home a lot of bacon for the masses, poor, middle class, and wealthy alike, the latter thanks to an economy based on communist bedrock. Since Hong Kong was returned to the mainland in 1997, which is called the Basic Law Treaty, ending Britain's colonial rule over this tiny region, Yuranglo-land has used it as a base to sabotage the CPC. In every country where the West works to subvert the people's will, local lackeys are cultivated to show off supposed honest faces and sincere do-gooders. These toadies are wined, dined, feted in the West, and through bogus foundations and NGOs are showered with money. A perfect example is the recently deceased Liu Xiaobo. He was showered with almost $2 million that we know of. Spies and turncoats have spat on their fellow countrymen for much, much less. And of course he was awarded the derisory, highly manipulated Nobel Peace Prize in 2010 by the rubber stamp committee in Stockholm that takes its marching orders every year from Washington. That little politicized gold bauble was another cool $920,000 in Liu's U.S. bank account. Thus, in spite of an avalanche of Western propaganda portraying these people as, quote, standing up for democracy and freedom, end of quote, they are in reality nothing more than bought-for, treasonous stooges for Western elites, and used as such. Legally, in their home country or territory, they should register as foreign agents and be treated accordingly. Every country has some law like America's Foreign Agent Registration Act, or FARA, F-A-R-A. If you decide to be a turncoat to your country and your people, then at least have the honorable guts to declare it or pay the price. It's okay to be a foreign agent and work for a country's interests, either your own or another. Thousands of people register in hundreds of countries every year. But the local government has the right to know who you are and who you work for. Otherwise, you are a spy, and that's treason. In Hong Kong's case, the latter just happened in spades. Baba Beijing, who under the Basic Law has all authority to protect the interests of the territory's safety and stability, finally said, "Enough is enough," which in Chinese is expressed as Fanla or Taoyuan. Several, quote, democracy seekers, end of quote, were recently charged, tried, and convicted of disrupting the peace during an illegal demonstration in 2014 and given token sentences such as community service. Baba Beijing picked up the phone and asked the public prosecutor to reconsider. He did, and they all got jail sentences of 6 to 8 months. Not life-ending, but nonetheless a significant chunk of one's life. They are also barred from trying to run for office until 2022. After their sentencing, a Chinese Foreign Affairs spokesperson laid it out in no uncertain terms. This is a significant revelation that foreign forces have been colluding with anti-China forces in Hong Kong in messing up the city and interfering with its judicial independence. Hong Kong belongs to China, and we will absolutely not allow any foreign government, institution, or person to interfere with China's domestic affairs and Hong Kong affairs in any way. End of Chinese Foreign Affairs spokespersons telling the truth. That definitely won't make the fake news on CNN and Fox. The West's brainwashed masses will only be fed hypocritical blather about Hong Kongers being denied universal suffrage, human rights, and freedom, which in reality don't exist in their own countries anyway. But don't rain on their credit-driven super-consumer parade by trying to show them why. Their eyes start to roll to the back of their heads when you do. Besides, it's time to go to Walmart and the nearby all-you-can-eat buffet. Charge it, please. To make sure that Hong Kong's bought and paid for Western puppets get the message, the territory's authorities just arrested 13 others for protesting, which is quite legal in Hong Kong and China, but not when it is patently and manifestly being controlled and manipulated by foreign countries hell-bent on destroying China's way of life, stability, and security. East, west, north, and south, that's called treason, boys and girls, and in most countries it is punishable by death or life in prison. These young, self-indulgent, and gullible Yankee ventriloquist dummies are being treated with kid gloves. The truth is they deserve much worse. That's it for today. This is Jeff J. Brown on China Rising Radio Sinoland, signing out. Have a wonderful day.